Okay, so I want to talk about 6 ways that you can use mind mapping in your journals in a creative way. Like, I love mind mapping, and I like doing it in my journal too. For one, it fills my pages. If I have empty pages and I don't have anything to say, I'll use mind mapping and it will pull up something that I want to write about. But I just love it. So here are some ways, and I have printed it off on these pages just so that I can show you, so it's visually bigger, but I will show you my journals as well. But the one way is goal or tasking. So I'll put my goal or task in the center, and then I will write out all the things that I need to do. This is typically for a month or for a day or a week, like not the whole year because you'd never be able to fit it, but like I will just kind of start and just keep branching off. So I'll put so stuff to do with work, and then I'll just put all the things that I need to do with work, the stuff that I need to do for home, and then the stuff that I need to do for home. And then I will put a list by each one. And so like, let me get a pen so I can, so say this was work. That's too simplified for my schedule, but I'm just going to use it as an example. And then I'll just like write off here, like the things that I kind of need to do, home. And then I will just go like this and then write. And this typically happens in my planner. Excuse me, I'll do a lot of that. And man, it really helps you organize your thoughts. It also helps me stay on task. When it's broken down like this, I can clear off lists like crazy. But when I have this whole list of things, it's like I can't focus. I'm like, oh, I need to do one in every. I just hit and I check off, hit and check off, and move on. And it really helps me achieve my goal. And I like when I do this in my journal and journal writing. I will talk about the plan. So like if I have so a lot of times when it's in my journal, it's done in a way that's like, okay, so my goal, mostly it's goals, not tasking in my journal writing. But I will write like, meditate more. So meditation. So then I will write out like the meditations that I want to focus on. Breath work. And so then I will just kind of the breathing techniques I want to work on. So like this would be like for tasking, and this would be more for goal for me. Health. So like health is another one. And so then I would write the things that I want to do to improve my health. It just really helps me organize my thoughts. Creative brains sometimes are all over the place, and so this is so perfect for us because it helps keep us focused. So some of the fun ways that I do my journals is I'll draw a visual piece on the inside, like just for fun, but it's fun whenever it's something you love. Like I love tea, so putting tea. And so like here I'll just put flavors, like, and then I would just like put my favorite flavors just for fun. Like what I like to do when I'm drinking tea, and you know what I mean? So it warms up that let's write, like it just gets you flowing. And so, and then like I like the teas with inspirational thoughts. That are on the tags, like I like that, like just whatever you're thinking of. And so then I would write out inspirational thoughts. So this is one way I use a lot. So anatomy of, so a lot of times it's anatomy of, and then I put an image on the center that relates to that topic. This is probably my most used way of doing this, brain dump sandwich. So I am very specific about how I brain dump. I write some nice things related to the topic that I'm about to brain dump about. So keeping myself in perspective is important. So say we're about to move. So I would write some of the things that I'm excited about for this move. Then I will write all the problems or hiccups or things or stressors. So I'll write all the stressors out. Then I write about how I feel about the problem or topic. So like just an honest, how do I feel about this? Write that out. Then I describe the other side of the problem or topic. So for this one, this isn't for always, but if I'm like, say I'm having an argument with my husband, which I rarely do, but say I was having an argument with someone, I would stand in their shoes for a minute and write what they might possibly think about the whole situation. I get out of myself and into them a little bit and describe what they're feeling. And then I write some creative solutions to the problem or topic. The reason that this is important is to just sit and dump gets you nowhere. You need to come to some creative solutions to the problem. Like, even if it's in a perfect world, the solution would be, but just so that you're still bringing the solution into the whole problem. Because usually when I'm brain dumping, it's emotional. And so I like to, and I started doing it this way because a lot of my brain dumping was around my grief. And so I would write my gratitude first. Then I would write what I was grieving. Then I would write about how I feel about this grief. Like, what do I feel about? What if I was to take myself outside of my body and look at this grief? What would it look like? And describe it. And then I would describe. So with me, I would put myself in my son's position and say, how is he feeling about all of this? How is he feeling about me being so sad of losing him, or how or whatever it is? I would describe from his point of view. And then I would write creative solutions, like, how do I get through my grief? And I did a lot of research on grief, so I would just like, for this instance, this is what I should do. And it really, really helped. It really, really helped. And what I loved about this is if anybody ever come across my journals and was reading them after I passed away or I was old and they wanted to read my journals, whatever the thing they would be looking at my journal, they would look at how I processed a problem. So that this is something that you could pass on to others. And this is also how I try to deal with problems in my life. I try to do the problem sandwich and I go through the layers. So doing it in my journal just really makes it natural for me to deal with my problems this way, since I'm doing it in my journal as well. So it really helps. So getting to the heart. This I do a lot. Like, I'm feeling overwhelmed. I'm feeling anxious. And sometimes these do not look creative because they are like in the moment. Why am I feeling this way? And so I'll put like anxious, overwhelmed, like, or overjoyed, or whatever it may be, like what is happening. And so I'll put the feeling that I'm having, and I actually try to focus on what is really the problem. I'm not feeling right. Why am I not feeling right? My neck is tense, my shoulders are tense. What's the problem? What am I holding on to? And so anxiety, whatever it may be. And then I'll put possible reasons of things that are happening in my life. And as I'm clustering, I will feel one that will hit on target, and sometimes more than one. And I will just write about those. So like usually it'll be a two-page spread, and I'll have my web mapping here, and I will journal over here. Sometimes I will journal outside of these lines here, like the circle, and put a line. But sometimes other times when I'm trying to figure out what's going on, this ends up being a full sheet of just getting it off of my chest and head, getting it out of my body. Feelings that are left inside our body, we bury them, but they're always there. When we bring them to the surface, give them air to breathe, and they release. So if you can't talk to anybody about it, write about it. And if you don't know what's going on, write about it. You'll get to the core of it through your writing. It will surface. You will pull it out and release it. Then it's not hidden somewhere in your body. because what happens is those will pop up at the most inopportune times. So this is really good for that. Brainstorming. Love brainstorming in a web mapping format. So if I'll have an idea, so I'll put, okay, this is what I want to do. How can I accomplish it? And so I will put like, so what am I wanting to do with this topic? And so then I'll put it over here, over here. So like say I wanted to redo my art studio. I want to redo my art studio. So what is the first thing I need to do? Clean it, organize it, get rid of anything. So then I would just like clean and organize. And so I'll just, clean and organize. And then I would create a list over here of what I need to do that. And then what do I want to do? Do I want to rearrange? Do I want to buy? So like rearrange. So, well, in my studio, I wouldn't be able to rearrange. So I would redecorate. Let's do decorate. Let's just do decorate. So I would have to pull things off the walls. I wanted to declutter. So then I would have to write all the things here. But so this one, declutter, you could put it all here. Clean and organize. I would have to clean and organize and put things back where they belong before I could even get to declutter. So clean and organize, and I put decorate. So then to decorate, I'm gonna have to pull things off the walls when I'm cleaning and organizing. But when I come to declutter, everything's already organized and in its place. And what happens when I clean and organize is I get rid of things. I get rid of things I don't need or want, that kind of thing. So then it would come back to declutter. I'm gonna need, I would need a list for this, just because declutter drawers, declutter the totes, declutter the closet, declutter, like I would have to go through everything. So and so you just keep brainstorming, and then you have an action plan. This whole web mapping becomes into this action plan that you can actually get things done. And then I just do focus on one thing at a time. Then memory mind mapping. So like for what I say for this is like, I will put like a fun memory or something I'm trying to hold on to, or I'll put a picture of my husband and I, or a picture of my kids or my family. And I will just talk about, like, sometimes it's that picture in that moment. What was happening then? What do I want to talk about this photo? Or sometimes it's all the fun memories with whoever's in that photo. And I just kind of map them all out. It's kind of fun. And my grandkids have looked at these in my book and have me, like, we read through them and giggle. And so this one's kind of fun in your journal. All right. So now that I've shown you mapped them all out, so I'm going to flip through some of my journals just so that you can see them in action. But I kind of wanted to map this out for you like this. So now let's go into my journals. So this one has, tried to tab them so we can get right to them. This one this is like a memory mind mapping. I put motherhood, and then I put the 3 kids, and then I talked about them in each quadrant. I like doing this, like I ran out of room. Like it really pulls a lot out of me. Like I loved it. The topic was this, and the three kids. And so I just talked about them. Let's see. Get to this one. Sorry. That's not. This one is interesting because I put my spiritual growth and goals. So this is a goal oriented. So the destination was growth. So I mapped all this out, and then I just wrote my topics like, okay, so it went like this and like this. So I turned it like this to write so I had things that are kind of blocking me, solutions, my virtues that I kind of want to work from, things that I do that feed my soul, inspiring quotes, and heroes and guides. And I just filled all the, this was, I forgot about this one. This one was fun. And it was helpful. It was helpful because it kind of, and one of the things that I thought was important is I put here, where am I now on this? Like, if this was a scale, where am I now? This is on the upward channel. At that day, I felt like I was right here at the beginning. I'm not quite at the beginning, but I was over here. And I think the reason that I decided that I was here is I thought that this would probably be towards the end of your life here. And I was hoping I was here too. But I have a lot to learn about life still. So now let's grab, oh wait, let's see. This one has a few. Did we look at this one? Okay, so here's one this is what I was talking about. When I'm like feeling it right now, I just need to get it out of myself. So I put identify the rub. So what is wrong with me right now? And there was so many things. I was feeling passive aggressive, sad, angry, and anxious, judgmental, brain fog, tired. I was tired or wired. I just kind of got it all out. And by the time I was done with this, I was like, I just need a nap. So I took a nap and I felt better. I mean, it was as simple as that. This one was what I wanted to do for self-care. This one was, what does self-care look like? So I put self-care, physical, move more. And then I put laugh out loud. Indulgences, meditation, affirmations, like just all these things that I like. Binge watching British TV was just my favorite thing to do. Anyways, I just kind of mapped out what self-care looks like to me. And so when I needed it, this was right after this whole feeling like this. And so I just like, what could you do to just take a break and feel some self-care? And I did another one over here visually. Is there more? There's one more. This is, oh, this one was a study. That was another thing that I didn't. So I did kind of talk about an idea, but I love this meditation. And so I wrote it out, and then I wrote out I broke down the chant and what each portion meant, where it came from, and talked about it a little bit. After this, I filled pages and pages in journals of this meditation. It was one that I listened to Tina Turner chant, and I just love it. But anyways, it's a beautiful chant. So I have that one here. Let's see. This is a version of one. I put, I know, I speak, I do, I am, I feel, I love, I see. And this is more of a Reiki type cluster where I kind of put like affirmations, which I thought was kind of fun. This one, I was feeling busy. I was feeling like a busy bee. So I put a bee, and just, why am I so busy? Because I hate that word. Life is full. When it's busy, you need to dissect why you feel busy, and it should be more that my life is full. And so I kind of wrote out some things to kind of help me process that. Processing emotions. That's all that I do in my journal, processing emotions. This was one, enjoy this time, and what I wanted to do to just really be in the moment and what I wanted to enjoy. This one was, what is my home like? This is from a stencil in my shop, the Cozy Sunday. I love that stencil. But anyways, it talked about like what I did, the anatomy of my home. Let's see. This one has a lot of clusters in it. This one, I clustered the song Cardigan by Taylor Swift. I love that song. That's her folky album, and I just love it. And so I like, what I loved about the song, it's usually lyrics, because that's why I would do it. But anyways, so I did that one. And then this one, I was unpacking my feelings. I was feeling a lot of feelings, and I thought, okay, 4, 7, 8 breath will help me. Breathe in for 4, hold for 7, release for 8. And it really resets my nervous system in a way that I can get through just about anything. And so I wrote out what I was feeling. I was feeling anxious, excited, and I love and gratitude. And so I just kind of wrote those out. and 4 Habits of Emotionally Balanced People. I probably listened to a TED Talk, if I'm being honest. Those usually, TED Talks are my best inspiration for writing my journal. They really make me think. So here, the anatomy of my heart, I just wrote, I have millions of these, and I always check in with my heart. Always check in with my heart. And so just talking about what's going on in my heart. This is the wave of life. Okay, I think the original term is circle of life. The circle, or the cycle of life. I can't remember. And it's like a circle. And my head, that's the thing, is like, there's all these ideas out there, but they have to look good and feel good to you in the way that you visualize things. So I changed it to wave of life. And what I would do is the wave is my center cluster, right? Wave of life. And I put spirituality, personal growth, friends and family, health, work and money, and like where I felt I was on these scales, 1 to 10, 10 being the best and 1 being the worst. And I kind of wrote in here, and then I talked about where I was in these things and why I think I needed to get better, or why I felt like I was doing good. This is like, this I used to do once a month as just a self check-in, and I love this one. I could do a whole video on that. I actually have somewhere. Anyways, let's go. It's probably in one of my classes. I love bags. So I did an anatomy of my bag and just put what was in it. I was doodling. I needed to fill some pages because I wasn't feeling like writing. So I did that. See, still. My values, beliefs, and principles. This is all from the Anatomy of Me. That's a class, the Anatomy of Me, and it's just a regular size class that teaches you to journal about yourself and tapping into yourself and your values and who you are, kind of thing. Let's see. See, Anatomy of my heart. I do that a lot. Anatomy of me. Anatomy of my thoughts. Anatomy of my marriage. There's so many. Of a grieving heart. This one's of my grieving heart. Oh, so I did this whole thing about my heart, and then I love Native American traditions. I have such a love and respect and honor for those Native American beliefs and thoughts from back in their culture. I just love them. And Lakotas, so I wrote about the Lakota tradition, and then talking about some of their other beliefs. I mean, I'm not Native American, but I have a lot of respect for their belief systems, and so I kind of wrote about that. Let's see. I have a few in here. Let's see what we got. This one, so this, in one of my classes, we were talking about your 8-year-old self and your 80-year-old self. Like, where are you in that? And so I talked about my 8-year-old self and who she was. And so I put my 8-year-old self in the center and then branched out and talked about that. And then this one was like reflection and motherhood and what was the lesson, kind of like, I don't know, just mapping it out sometimes is good. Let's see. This is another Anatomy of my heart. And when I did this, I just put pictures down. I did, this ended up eventually pulling out so much emotion. But at first it was just images. And then I came back to this and I needed more space. I couldn't get it full enough. And so I call it bookmarking, where you bookmark a thought and then you come back. So I bookmarked it by the images, and then I came back and really added what I loved. Like what was really going on in my heart. This is the mind mapping of heart and intuition and my mind, like these things that I'm thinking about, and I didn't need to do much. It looks really simple, but there wasn't much I needed to do. I just needed to map them out, and I felt better. This one, what is intuition? What is fear? And just kind of mapped those. Let's see, there's more. Here's one that it was my intuition. It lights up the dark. So I put a light in the center and just kept it simple and very visual. And I love this page. I love it. Because I had so much fun doing this, and I felt so good when I was done. And that's what matters. It doesn't have a lot going on, and it just was, it felt good when I got done with this one. I remember the feeling from that one. Let's see here. This one, I love this one. I want to do this one again. And that's another thing about looking back on these, like, I want to revisit that again. I want to do that idea again. I reuse old ideas because they're relevant always. So this one was, what do I want to invite in my life? And so in the circle, instead of working outward, I went inward and put all the things that I want to invite into my life. Let's see. Here we go. What makes me who I am? And so I put all the pictures of my family, and then I put some words, and self-explanatory. Done. Boom. Like, where's my husband? That is so funny. I put my dad. Okay, so this really needs my husband, so I'm going to put it there because I probably won't remember to come back. So I'll put my husband, my poor guy, that poor guy. My love, he's my favorite. Love him. This is my grandkids. This is my dad. This is my grandmother and her parents that when they were in Italy. He looks just like my oldest son. Let's see. I know there's another one in here. Here is another one where I was overwhelmed. I'm like, why am I overwhelmed? Projects, packing, work, declutter, move. And then I'm like, oh, I know the solution. I need to set some goals. So I just set some goals and started working on, like, they don't have to be very big. They can be small too. Like, you can map things out pretty small. But I hope this helps you with mind mapping in your journal, and how much they can really inspire you to write or to take action, to move forward. It'll get you out of feeling stagnant. I love mind mapping, and I cannot say enough about it. So I hope that these suggestions and some visuals help you move forward with it. Have a wonderful day. And also, just one more thing to remember, that my active journaling class right now is the heart of journal writing. It's a 52-week course. There's so much valuable information in there. This is the active class, but all of my journal writing classes are great to use at any time. This one has 4 quarters, and in those quarters we have a book club and a live Zoom. There's 2 live Zooms. So there's one for book club, and then there's one where we journal together. I give a topic, we journal about it, we talk about it. It's just this wonderful community of women who come together and share our hearts and our beliefs and our goals, and we come from all walks of life, and I just love that. So again, the heart of journal writing, if you're interested, I will leave a link.